Hello and welcome back to Life at Strawberry Cottage. I'm Michelle, wife to Mariah and mama to one sweet baby girl. In today's video, I'm making some sloppy joe to start off with. It's a great summertime meal in our household here. Super quick and easy and yummy too. And then we'll be going thrifting later on after we take Daddy lunch. Sorry it's been a little while again since I made a video. Time just kind of got away from me. We've been really enjoying the last bits of summer here, but I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to fall. This week has been pretty warm, although last week was unseasonably cool, so I was really thankful for that, and it really got me ready for fall. I think in my next video I'll start decorating for fall. Since summer is just harder for me to enjoy than the cooler weather, I try to intentionally find things about it that I do enjoy and just remind myself of those things. For instance, sloppy joes, that is something that makes me think of summertime. It actually makes me think of my maternal grandparents. It's the sort of thing they would make a giant batch of for all of us grandkids. Also really soaking in these long days as they get shorter and shorter towards fall here. I am enjoying these long days still and soaking in these last bits of summer sunshine. I can't believe we're in the last week of August already. I have an August birthday, so we did celebrate my birthday as well a couple weeks ago. And it's so funny because school has already started back up around here. Well, obviously by now, but it started up even before my birthday, which I can remember as a kid. It never started before my birthday. I was always firmly in the summer, and then as time has went on, it just creeps closer and closer to my birthday to where now school does start before my birthday, which is kind of crazy. Of course, we plan to homeschool. Both Mariah and I were homeschooled for at least, well, he was all the way through and I was for high school, 8th grade and high school. And we do plan to homeschool if the Lord allows whenever our baby's old enough for school. So I guess we can pick whatever day we want for starting school. I like to get the last little bit of ketchup out of the bottle, and whenever it's already towards the end when I'm making this recipe, the water that this recipe calls for, I just shake it up in the bottle to get the last bits of goodness out of that bottle. Now that that's done, we get it all packed up and get ready to head out to see Daddy for lunch. Really enjoy getting to see him in the middle of the day, and I know he loves getting to see baby girl. Well, me too, I assume. But then we'll be going thrifting, and I thought I would show you some of the things I look for every time I thrift. Okay, number one is vintage linens. Be it towels, sheets, decorative linens, anything. I love looking for those things. Next is baskets. They have just so many uses and I just can't get enough of them. Big ones, small ones, oddly shaped ones, doesn't matter. I love them all. I even love the noise they make when you pick them up. Maybe that sounds weird to say, but it's true. Then we have patterns and other sewing or crafting supplies. So patterns, fabric, notions, yarn, any of that thrills my soul. Then any sort of home decor that goes with my cottage core style I'm into right now, like this vintage wallpaper border or any type of wooden shelf with heart cutouts. Love the 90s vibes. Next, I always look for books, but children's books in particular, especially vintage ones. These vintage little golden books were found on a birthday shopping trip with Mariah at an antique mall, so they're not quite thrifted. This was my haul from the first thrift store. Next, I headed to Goodwill, and this time I had my sister with me. We found lots of good things. The houseware section of Goodwill can be a hot mess, but sometimes you find pretty things that go with my cottage style. One thing I always look for is wall art. So this picture is pretty dirty, but once it's cleaned up, it'll go great in my bedroom. Lots of my cottage prints were thrifted. Some were gifts, but all, as you can see here, are quite old. This was one of my best Goodwill wall art finds. This wasn't on this particular trip. This has been up for a little while. But the frame is painted floral and it's just a beautiful picture. This is another favorite thrifted picture. I got this mirror at that Goodwill trip. Here it is hung up in our entryway. I needed a mirror for in there, and this one painted with daisies and a Bible verse was just perfect. Here's my sister Kelsey scouring the kitchenware. And did I mention I love baskets? Apparently someone else did enough to make a sign about it. You better believe that came home with me. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you probably would guess that pretty dresses is on my list for things to look for. This is one I found at Goodwill. Very comfortable and pretty to wear. I always check the label. I only buy natural fibers. I believe this one's rayon. Cotton, linen, rayon, any of those type of things I'm happy to take home. Of course, I'm always on the lookout for baby items now too. Look at this sweet vintage dress. You never know what you'll find, like this adorable vintage diaper holder. I would bet that at least half of my baby's clothes are thrifted, if not more. You just can't beat some of the vintage styles, and the price is always right. Now that this sweet picture is all cleaned up, let's get it hung. I like to add a couple of these command picture hanging strips just to give added security, especially since this one in particular is going to be close to where baby sleeps. Mima's kids and grandkids went through her home and sorted through all the things, and we took some things to remember her by. She had been working on this blanket for me, so I took this to finish. I knit a couple rows in a green, her favorite color, to mark where she stopped knitting and where I began. There's just a bit left to do on this, so it won't be long before it's done. Such a special feeling using these needles that she was the last one to touch. She just got to where she couldn't knit anymore, so I'm glad that she taught me to knit so I can finish this for her. You silly goose. You silly goose. Mama loves you. Knitting always makes me think of the cozy days to come. I hope you're enjoying these last bits of summer and making the most of the sunshine. Hope you enjoyed today's video as well. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Thanks so much for stopping by. Happy homemaking. Bye.